Hi, year 12 and year 13. Hope you're well this week. Last week, obviously, we had a lot going on. A lot of you were very busy with learning tasks. It also marked World Mental Health Week as well, and Muslim students celebrated Eid and the end of Ramadan. So a busy week last week, and this week now, the last week of learning tasks. On Thursday as well, though, is World Bee Day. Okay, so this is an international day put in place by the UN, and it's actually its 4th year this year, so it's still a relatively new international day. And World Bee Day is all about basically reminding people of the fact that we all depend on the survival of bees. Okay, without bees, then a lot of our ecosystems and the way that our plant production works wouldn't be able to go ahead. And bees and other pollinators, such as butterflies and bats and hummingbirds, etc., are under increasing threat actually from human activities. So we're having quite a negative impact on the moment. And World Bee Day is just all about raising awareness of the importance of bees and other pollinators, so that we know what we can do to protect them and to try and alleviate some of the damage we've already caused to their habitats and to their livelihood. Some of you might not know about the importance of pollination, but that's one of the bees' kind of chief jobs, really, along with other pollinators. And for instance, like with wildflowering plants, 90% of them depend on pollinators like bees in order to pollinate them. And more importantly for humans, 75% of the world's crops rely on bees or other pollinators to pollinate the plants so that they'll actually produce then food for us. So World Bee Day is all about raising awareness of that, really, so that we know how important it is, because bees are so tiny, they're so easily to be overlooked, really. And World Bee Day also aims to kind of strengthen the protection that's around these pollinators. And through doing that, there's a great belief that this will basically alleviate problems like global food supply and also world hunger as well, because the more crops that we can generate, then the more we can basically feed the world. Like I said, this is the 4th year it's going to be celebrated this year. And obviously with the pandemic still ongoing, there's not very many in-person events that you can do on this, although there's many things you can do individually to help the plight of the bee. But there is a virtual event on the 20th, this Thursday. So if you go to the website for World Bee Day, you can find information on there. There's also really useful practical tips, really, on what we can be doing on an individual level to try and encourage pollinators into our gardens or any green spaces that we may have access to. So things such as creating like a bee bath that they can access for water, planting diverse plants, letting kind of like wildflower meadows grow or little patches of wildflower anyway, and trying to avoid things like pesticides, etc. in our gardens or that your parents might use when they're gardening. So check it out, don't ignore the bee. Here's a little video as well about the importance of these unsung heroes. Just put it back to the beginning, that would be handy. Okay, and who knows, some of you that are interested in biodiversity or environmental sciences or even health and nutrition might even think about exploring that as part of your Welsh Back projects at the end of the year. Right, so what is on? Obviously, Dr. Rowe has put a kind of pause really on the webinar programme that we've been running in-house with lots of guest speakers from outside, because we know that you've been very busy with your learning tasks. He's been hard at work though, booking up things for after half term. So you may just want to pop some of these dates in your diary. On the 8th of June, we have a talk on history and international relations from a former student who will be talking about her study of that degree and what she's doing with it now. On the 9th of June, we have PwC who are doing a webinar for us, and they're going to be talking to us all about apprenticeship opportunities they have within their very big company, and also graduate opportunities if some of you are thinking of going to university but would like a job within a business like PwC in the future. If you're not sure what PwC is all about, basically, if you're interested in business or economics or finance or IT, it's worth you kind of coming along to this, because I think you'll find it really interesting. As well as that, then on the 15th of June, we're going to have a webinar with the director of NHS England, who also happened to be a former student. So anybody interested in anything that comes under healthcare, really, this would be really, really useful for you to come along to. How good to be able to pose a question to an NHS director. Okay. On the 22nd of June, Dr. Rose also arranged for a UCAS process talk to be put on from somebody that we have in every year called Steve Minney, and he's really knowledgeable about the whole UCAS process, but makes it really easy to understand for both students and their parents or guardians. So this will be open to both students and their parents or guardians on the evening on that date there. And then lastly, then, the final thing we've got booked on in the moment, although I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come, is on the 24th of June, there will be a talk on careers in sport from, again, somebody who was a former student. You can see, obviously, we produce some great people that go into the world, and she's currently one of the Olympic team managers, and she's going to be talking about her career in sport and studying it after sixth form. So if you're interested in those areas, please pop those dates down now. Have a little scan through Dr. Rowe's emails, as there's already ways you can sign up to those events so they appear in your calendar and you don't miss them. Outside of the school, though, there's lots of other opportunities that Dr. Rowe is constantly emailing you about. So these are some of the latest ones. Firstly, there's a modern foreign languages summer school at Oxford, and there's a deadline to apply for that. It's obviously in the summer, but you've got to apply beforehand, and the deadline is the 31st of May. So if you're interested in Oxford or just generally in studying modern foreign languages at university level, please have a little look into that, about what the summer school offers, and think about putting in an application. It'd be an excellent opportunity. There's also a series of Cambridge masterclasses running all the way through May to August. There's 16 of them in total on such a variety of subjects. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you're not thinking about going to Cambridge, it'll just be an excellent webinar, like masterclass to attend, to find out loads about the subject. Okay, and something great to put in your personal statement as well. Like I said, there's 16 different ones, loads of different subjects, everything from law to engineering to music to earth sciences. I know there's English literature and creative writing. There's absolutely tons on there. So basically, whatever you're looking to do, have a look on there, because I bet they'll have the subject. Aberystwyth University also putting on some webinars on psychology, veterinary science, physics, geography, maths, again, loads more as well. Okay, and these again running from May all the way into July. So have a look at Dr. Rowe's emails for the details on that. There are more subjects than the ones I put on the screen now. So have a look even if what you're interested in isn't appearing there. There's also as well a Girls in STEM event, which sounds really interesting. And this is going to be running between Thursday the 11th to Friday the 12th of June. So any girls that are interested in any of the things that fall under STEM subjects, really, it'd be really worth you going along to this. Sounds really interesting. Oxford are also putting on some taster days. These are just on 3 specific subjects at the moment, although there may be more to follow. So there's one on music on the 31st of May, one on modern foreign languages again on the 2nd of June, and one on women in science on the 4th of June. So interested in any of those, pop those dates in your diary as well. And then lastly, Dr. Rowe has emailed out details about Open Learn, which is a website set up by Welsh Government in relation with Welsh universities and also the Open University, and it's all designed around basically getting students university ready and providing them with a wealth of information. So head to that website if you want to find out a little bit more about that. Okay, around school as well, then obviously I just want to remind you that we still need to do our part to keep others safe, okay? Especially as the majority of the school community still hasn't been vaccinated. Some teachers have, some teachers haven't, but also we've got the whole student population. So remember that when you're taking these actions, it's not about you, it's about the others around you. It's about just being a considerate person. Please continue to wear masks at all times unless you're eating or drinking, okay? Don't rely on a teacher to pick you up on it. Just do it, okay? We don't need to be picked up on it. We just do it. And you're adults now, so you shouldn't need to be reminded like some of our younger students. Also, abiding to the one-way system is really important. Please continue with that. It's really frustrating when teachers are trying to remind younger pupils about it who are testing the limits, and then sixth formers can't even follow a simple one-way system. So just stick to it. It's there to take away the chances of you coming face to face with other students from other bubbles, which could be quite harmful. Also remember to sanitize when you enter in different spaces, particularly the study room, as there's so many pupils and staff in and out of there every single day, but also in your classrooms. Remember as well to socially distance. You know you haven't got to socially distance from each other in the sixth form, but you should be socially distancing from pupils in other year groups as they're not in your bubble. And you also need to be doing your bit to keep staff safe. So please don't encroach on their social space as well. And then lastly, just a reminder, the lateral flow tests are under Mrs. Perks's desk. Please keep picking these up, okay, to do your bit to just keep a check, as we know how asymptomatic young people can be, even if they have COVID. So these will do the bit to take care of that, really. And remember that there's like a little sign-in sheet. So if you take a top-up box, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you sign by your name so we can see who's taken what. Okay, apart from that, I did have a slide, but it's gone missing on lessons as well. So just a reminder for year 12, obviously this for year 12 and year 13, this will be your last week of learning tasks now, okay? And hopefully you don't have too many to finish off this final week. We know that you've been working incredibly hard and we're incredibly proud of you for that. So well done, and see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're nearly through them, okay? You've done incredibly, incredibly well. For your 12 students then, once your learning tasks are over, then your lessons are obviously going to continue. There may be some of the year 12 syllabus that your teachers will need to finish off with you, because it's essential really to progress into the A2 part of the course with it. BTEC subjects will obviously be carrying on as normal. And then at some point, A2 subjects will start to introduce you to the year 13 content as well. Okay, so it's important that you keep up your lesson attendance to all of your lessons. For year 13, obviously, you'll be finishing at May half term. And you need to continue to attend your lessons until then. There might also be other things that you need to finish off as well with your teachers. Also a reminder though for year 12 that when we return after May half term, the first 3 weeks will be lessons as normal, and then the last 3 weeks there'll be a Welsh Back collapsed timetable. So you've already had a letter out about this, and on that letter there's just a consent form, and that consent form doesn't need to be used by the majority of you, because we're obviously assuming that you will be in for all of the collapsed timetable, because we're going to be getting some essential Welsh Back work done. However, if you know already that you've got an essential appointment that's already booked in, such as a medical appointment, or say, for example, you've been accepted onto some kind of summer school or some kind of virtual work experience program that can't be scheduled for any other time, and it has to happen in those 3 weeks, then if you know about that in advance, we just want you to fill in that consent form to let us know what you'll be missing. The reason why we do this in advance is that we can plan around this and we can make sure you don't fall behind. We might be able to give you some resources beforehand, or obviously just keep in touch with you to make sure that you're not going to fall behind. Okay, so if anything crops up, even if it's just an afternoon appointment on one day, or if it's something more like a good few days because of a virtual work experience opportunity, it's just really important that you fill in that consent form, hand it into Mrs. Perks so that we know what we're doing. Okay, and other than that, just stay safe, be kind to each other, let's continue supporting each other. We're nearly at May half term, and all of you will very soon have a well-deserved break. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Remember the bees, and we'll see you soon.